Most people think an MS flare is random. It's not. It feels random because no one ever taught you how to read what your body is doing. Nobody ever does entirely. And that's the difference between feeling out of control and actually understanding what's happening. I still remember the first time it happened to me. I woke up and something felt, oh my God, off. Not just a little, but a lot. I couldn't explain it yet, and I didn't have the language entirely, but I knew my body definitely didn't feel like mine. By the end of this video, you're going to understand what actually is happening inside your nervous system, how to tell a real flare versus a pseudo flare, and 5 things you can do immediately to protect yourself. Because not knowing, that keeps you in the fear zone every time a symptom shows up. And that's not good. But understanding this, that puts you back in the driver's seat. Stay tuned. Now this is kind of a review for my other videos, but let's start by making sense of what's physically happening inside of your body. Because once you understand this, your symptoms stop feeling so confusing. So your nerves are like electrical wires, and myelin would be the insulation wrapped around them. In multiple sclerosis, your immune system attacks that insulation. Here's the chain reaction. So you've got your immune system crosses into your brain and spinal cord, and then it mistakes myelin for something dangerous, and then it attacks it. That attack creates inflammation, and inflammation scrambles your nerve signals. That's why symptoms feel so unpredictable and really, really strange, because it all depends on location. So obviously you'd have something like if it's in your optic nerve, you're gonna have some vision issues, maybe even some double vision, blindness even. Your spinal cord, you're gonna have numbness or weakness. And in your cerebellum, your little brain, you'll probably experience some balance and coordination problems. And this is what makes MS so strange, because it's the same disease for everyone, at least in terms of diagnosis, but it's a completely different experience. There's a pattern that most people aren't necessarily told, and it's build, peak, and then attempted repair. Sometimes your body recovers well, and medications can also help that, but sometimes it leaves behind damage. And if you've ever thought, which I've thought that too, why does my body feel like it's not mine? This is weird as hell. This is why. This is real, and it's measurable. It's not in your head. Now, let's clear up one of the most, confusing and most important parts of MS. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. And honestly, I did too. So a true flare is new or worsening neurological symptoms, and they must last more than 24 hours. They're also not going to be triggered by heat, Woodhoff's phenomenon, remember, infection, or fever. This means an active inflammation. Now, a pseudo flare feels just as real, but it is a different problem. It's ultimately your old symptoms coming back because your system is, it's overwhelmed. And this can be due to heat, lots of stress, infection, and lack of sleep. There's no new damage. It's ultimately just a stressed nervous system. And here's the simplest way to think about it. New damage versus stress system. So if you are or you have experienced this, you'd want to do maybe just a quick self-check or check yourself. Am I sick or overheated? Have I been pushing too hard? Has this lasted more than 24 hours? And that alone can save you a lot of fear. Hey girl, hey. If this is the first time MS has actually made sense to you, subscribe. Because my goal isn't just to explain what's happening, I genuinely want to help you understand what to do with this too. All right, there are 5 things I do wish, although some were kind of natural, I wish someone would have handed me early on. The first one is sleep is non-negotiable. Sleep is oh so important, and being the major point is that your nervous system repairs itself during rest and sleep. So during a flare, when you do this, sleeping that is, it's not laziness, it's actually treatment. Number 2, control your body temperature. I may have had a video about that. Heat can worsen everything. Think cooling vests, think lots of cold drinks, ice everywhere, in your drink, on your body, you name it. air conditionings, and probably not jumping in a super scalding hot shower either. And this is real because managing it can help you reduce symptoms a lot faster. Have a stress plan ready because, well, stress isn't just emotional, it's actually immunological as well. So with this, I want you to pick 2 to 3 tools, just as an example. Deep breathing maybe, going on a walk, calling someone that's really close to you, friend, family, and don't wait until you're overwhelmed to figure all of this out. 4th point, know your medication plan. And this is a close relationship with your doctor that I've mentioned in other videos as well. But before a flare happens, you want to ask your neurologist, when should I call? When do we treat? And what is steroids going to look like for me? Because these decisions are obviously much harder when you're already depleted. All right, point 5, have a communication script ready. Yes, a communication script. Because you don't need to explain everything, but having a simple sentence ready for things like maybe you need to talk to your boss, maybe you need to talk to your family, your very close family, friends. And this all is going to reduce that mental load, especially if you're in the middle of something major. You have to really reserve your energy, especially when you're struggling. I want to say this clearly. A flare does not mean that your treatment failed. It didn't mean that you did something wrong, and it doesn't mean that your disease is spiraling. Sometimes, well, shit just happens. The one thing that helped me the most during, well, my flare was keeping my people close to me, knowing who my people were, and also knowing that they had my back unconditionally, even if they didn't fully understand what was going on, and, well, I didn't have any idea either. I can look back and now know about those times before I was diagnosed, seeing them as warning signs, but still. Here's something a lot of people only realize after a flare, and that it didn't usually come out of the middle of nowhere. Some patients can recognize that there were signs, they just might have been easy to miss. Things like a different kind of fatigue, a subtle brain fog, increased heat sensitivity, especially if it were a hot summer day, and old symptoms quietly showing up. It wasn't dramatic, but not really random either. Keep in mind, this isn't about catching everything perfectly. That's impossible. But it's about starting to noticing patterns, which you will, because the earlier you recognize what's happening, the earlier you can respond. Okay, finally, let's talk about what actually helps reduce flares over time. Not perfectly prevent them, but at least lower the chances. The biggest factor, consistency with your DMT. Beyond that, kind of the supplemental things would be sleep, stress management, vitamin D, totally avoiding smoking. I know that's easier said than done for people that are smokers, but it will help. And also trying to avoid alcohol and sugar the best that you can. And then there's the factor that gets overlooked. That's infections. Even something small like a UTI can throw your system off. I mean, again, your body is already using energy in attacking itself, so piling on something else for it to fight, well, that's going to put it in overdrive. Then there's MRIs. They often catch changes before you feel anything, but here's the honest truth. You can still do everything right and still have a flare. And for that further matter, it might not even show up on that MRI because prevention isn't about control. It's just about reducing risk. So now you have a clear picture of what's going on inside your body and how to tell with what kind of flare you're dealing with and what to do when it happens. Okay, so now here's your next step. I want you to pick one thing from this video, any of it. Maybe the survival guide, I will even put that in the description below, and put it in place this week. Just try it out, if not even a week, maybe for 3 days even. Because the worst time to figure this out is when you're already in it. And the best time, well, it's right now. Hopefully this video helped you, and if it did, I would love for you to like and subscribe. I would also like you to feel free for, place any comments or questions or concerns. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.